Ben, could you tell me a bit about yourself?
Yeah, absolutely. So I've born and bred in High Wycombe, lived there all my life. I now work at the Oasis Partnership as an assertive outreach worker, helping to get people into different treatment services.
And Ben, I understand that you was into drugs when you was younger. Can you tell me a bit more about that? How you started on drugs and what age you was?
Yeah, absolutely. So I started drinking really about 14, and then that kind of progressed quite quickly. So I was there drinking 1 to 2 bottles of wine every day, almost every other day at the age of 14, 15, hiding it from family members, hiding it from friends. That progressed on to Class A drugs by the time I was 16, and then progressively got pretty bad from there. Without going into too much detail, it was disastrous. When the effects of the alcohol and the drugs really start to take over your life, that's when you start to think, actually, maybe this isn't such a clever thing to do.
What age did you stop drinking at and taking drugs?
Yeah, so really I started at 14. I'd say it's difficult to say when I stopped because I started seeking help really about 23 years old. That was when that became difficult because I now wanted to do something about the problem. I now had a bigger problem than I ever realised. So if I said to you that I stopped at 22, 23, just like that, it's not that. I wish it was that easy. But it was then that I started to access local drug and alcohol services. That was when I really started to say, do you know what? I'm going to do something about this. However, I would say it was about 27 when I really started to, get a better handle of it, and that's when I started, that's when I started actually working, volunteering in local drug and alcohol services. But yeah, 22, 23 was when I realised I needed to do something about it.
Yeah, you just mentioned volunteering, and what inspired you to become a counsellor with people with drugs and other issues with drink and that?
If you're not drinking anymore, you've got a big space in your life that you need to fill. It's not just a 9 to 5, it's a 24/7 thing by that point. So I've got a lot of space that I need to fill. Okay, what am I going to do about that? And they said to me, stay sober for 6 months and you can then start volunteering. So that gave me a bit of inspiration to think, okay, if I do that, I can start volunteering and helping others and explain to them, that my story, their story kind of bounce off each other and give a bit of support. So really, it helped fill my time at first, and then it helped me feel like I could actually give something back to the service that I had taken, so much from over the years. And then that volunteering, I was doing well at that, turning up every day, doing what I could to support others and the service as a whole. And that then slowly progressed on to where I am today, really. Yeah, so now I'm working in the service which I used to access. So I'm working as I help get people into treatment, different treatment services, so mental health services, substance misuse treatment services. So I see it as like the pre-treatment section. I previously worked in drug and alcohol services, and now it's actually my role is to get them into the services and kind of provide a link, a link from whether they've been in hospital, whether they've been seeing their GP, as to how can we actually get them into treatment services, like I said, be it for substance misuse or mental health. Yeah, I think it helps me and it helps them. It's something that I really enjoy doing naturally, because I enjoy helping other people from all aspects of life. The thing is with addiction, the thing with mental health, is it doesn't look at, they're 60 and I'm 21 when it was all going down, or that, somebody might be 70 or they're 30. It looks at how can we destroy the individual. And if I can give some experience from my own experiences, but more importantly from other people that I've met along the way, whether that be clients, whether it be people in my own life, that have supported me, that I've seen support others, there's a massive support network out there that other people can access, is that you're looking at that going, we can all use that together, our experiences together, which can then in turn help other people. I'd love to tell you that I come up with all these ideas to support people, and they work every time. You know, it's never that simple. A lot of the ideas that I come up with are not my ideas, they're ideas from other people. When we talk and we communicate, that worked, so we'll try that. You know, or some of them are my ideas, and we'll do this and we'll try that. You know, so there's no fixed way of sorting out a problem, because if I gave you a treatment pathway and said to you, if you do that, it will work for you, it worked for this person, it just doesn't work like that. You know, so I might have 100 ideas and one of them might work, and that's the one we're going to run with. You know, so I would love it if we had a fixed path, but what works for me might not work for you and won't work for somebody else, but it will work for somebody. And it's all about saying, right, okay, which one does work, and finding it for them, and then encouraging them to keep doing that. Because one of the hardest things is to keep coming back and doing the things you don't necessarily want to do. And that's the kind of crux of where we're at. We're trying to support people to do things that aren't natural to them. It's actually quite natural for them to do the opposite. So if we can support them along the way, whether that be getting them into treatment services, accessing substance misuse or mental health services outside, you know, in their own time, whether that be mutual aid, whether that be any hobby, you know, to fill that time, to fill that gap, if we can get them to do that, or myself or somebody else, you know, just get somebody to make an impact on their life and have a positive impact, then it is really over to them to make the changes themselves, because only they can do it. We can take them and give them all the support, all the wraparound care, but it takes them to really want to have to make the changes in their life, which is not easy.
Well, thank you, Ben, for being so honest with your answers today. You know, you started when you were 14 on drink. You've stopped now. You've become a counsellor, and you've been very honest with your answers. I'd just like to say thank you, and you're inspiring to me when I hear this, because on a personal scale, I know what you're talking about. So I'd like to say, you know, I think you're a hero, Ben, and thank you very much for coming in today.
No worries, thanks for having me.